Okay, Friday, October 18th, continuing. There's still somebody in the police station. I'm still waiting outside. It's been approximately about 8 minutes. But anyway, what I'm continuing, and I want to show you because I want to get this on video. This street here is Fillmore. The station is located between Turk and Golden Gate. And on the corner, you can see that there is a camera. Now, the reason I'm taking these videos is to show you that, mind you, while I received what I received from legal informing me that the internal cameras are only used to real time, basically, as monitors, and they don't record, which of course I, at this point, do not believe until I've read the policies, which of course I've requested and have not been sent to me yet by legal for the San Francisco Police Department, which if you go to YouTube, you can find out the person and the phone number. Okay, so like I said, now we're at the corner of Turk, and I believe this is Fillmore, and look, there happens to be another camera right here. So, all these cameras here are probably, I would have to imagine, by the police, for the corner of their police station here. Now, the reason I'm stating this is because, according to legal, here's another one going down Turk Street. According to legal, these cameras record, but unfortunately, they just weren't recording, and they didn't have anything for that, that week or the prior week or something like that. It's in the documentation. Now, remember I told you I was walked into a closed door. Here is a camera on the corner that would have caught that, presumably, when I was escorted out on the illegal 5150 by, the officer that did that, in contrary to my rights. Of course, the way it's set up, there's no accountability, but, that's one of the things I'm trying to do today, to find out how to file a police report over that incorrect, false 5150. Now, we walked down this way, and there was, the car was parked here, and here's more cameras to capture that. So, that is what I'm showing. That's what I have, and I'm still awaiting my turn. But remember, these were the cameras that theoretically record, yet they had no recording. And the inner cameras, according to legal, do not record. Isn't it a marvelous, illusionary game? Thank you. I'm still waiting, like I said, to go in and to continue. So, we will see. Let me walk up and see if the person is still in line. Yes, and actually there's more people in line. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Let me stand out here, turn this off. I may even have to come back some other day. The point is, yes, I will continue. Yes, I want you to know that, the reason that the 5-1 incident where the sheriff nearly, in my opinion, broke my wrist, under, abuse of power, color of authority, breaking all my rights. I filed the police report. You've seen me try to follow up with Mr. Ortega to give my statement and everything because, remember, I realize how the police reports are rigged. They don't get you in, they don't take your statement, then the case is closed. Not because I don't want to provide the statement, not because of transparency and accountability, but because they want to rope-a-dope you into a system that's deliberately set to fail, and like I said, well, if you don't like, the outcome, well, then I guess you'll just have to, like I said, if you played their game, have to request the audio tape, which of course you wouldn't get in Sunshine because they would claim that it's confidential and privileged information for an investigation. The only way that you might be able to get it is through, filing a lawsuit, and we all know that, lawsuits, justice is for the rich. So I think you can see just how deliberately set it is to fail, not be accountable, while at the same time given the illusion of correct performance, etc., etc. Unfortunately, this is what we've come down to in this inhumane world, where words don't mean anything, and, they can be spun into anything, and people aren't accountable. Well, it's not my world, and if that's all there is, well, you know, it begs the question, where's the place for me? Because if I cannot fix things and get them right per any logical standpoint, you know, for correctness and for correct process, you know, and for the future of mankind and humanity, because if there is no accountability, how can you expect us to be human to one another? I think you've seen what happens with no accountability and the lack of humanity that I've been receiving constantly at each and every turn, simply for asking the right questions, videotaping as opposed to following up just, you know, so that it won't be a he said, she said thing, and go forward. So, please continue to watch. I might stick around a little while longer. If not, I might just come back some other day. At this point, like I said, somebody else came in. I don't want to seem like I'm underfoot or something. But let me walk in and see where my place is, and then maybe we can go from there. Do you guys mind? Are you in a hurry? Because I was outside waiting for him to finish. I didn't want to videotape his thing. Are you in a rush? It's going to take me a couple of minutes.
There we go.
We need to talk to that's why we're here.
Me too, but I was outside waiting until he left, and then you guys left. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, how can I help you?
Yes, I'm here to follow up. First of all, I'd like to know, do these cameras record or not?
Yes, they do.
They do record. Thank you. And you're absolutely positive of that?
How can I help you, sir?
Well, basically, I'd like to know, what do I need to do to file a police report for a false 5150 that happened here?
I can take a police report from you if that's what you like.
Okay, so I can do it. I can just come in and do it. That's fine. The next question I have is that I'm still trying to follow up on the police report that I'd originally given, that Inspector Ortega was trying to take my statement and wouldn't take it in a public area. Is Mr. Ortega here to take my statement?
For the bathroom.
Oh, you don't have one? Okay.
Is Mr. Ortega here to take my statement in a public area?
Ortega?
Or Ortega, something like
We don't
that?
have a Sergeant Ortega here.
Ortiz, maybe? Nothing with an O. Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, let me go home and check my notes, because I believe that was the name I was given, and I'll call back. Thank you for all your help.
Okay, have a good day.
Bye-bye. Thank you for your patience. Well, I guess I got to do a little more following up, but at least we got semi-started there. And the interesting, curious thing, yes, they do record. Now, it's interesting because, you know, think of it in these terms. Let's just suppose, you know, that they do record. Let's just suppose I was given the incorrect information from legal, you know, their attorney there. Let's try to reason out how this would be possible. Would it be possible because she was misinformed? Would it be possible, let's say, perhaps because if she was misinformed, she didn't do a thorough and diligent, you know, investigation into it, you know, against common sense? You know, let's say maybe look at the policies. Or, you know, is it then a convenient, easy out for them to, of course, feed you lies and then wash their hands of it and say, well, you know, I only relayed the information as I received it. You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game to deceive, to, you know, manipulate, and of course, in the end, not be accountable. You know, it just begs the interesting question. I certainly don't want to falsely accuse anybody, and you know, I certainly hope that, you know, my thoughts in these areas isn't what it really is. However, I think you've learned by now, you know, being told something does not necessarily mean it is what it is. So let us continue. It's an interesting question for thought. Now, mind you, this legal person, you know, who I've responded to and requested the policies and still hasn't sent them to me, I also, you know, spoke with and asked to come in and to go over everything in videotape. And interestingly enough, that was this morning, and I sent an email out in regard to the conversation I had with this person this morning, in which they informed me that they didn't do interviews and then proceeded to hang up on me. Now, it's another beautiful game. You know, these are my constitutional rights for redress, escalation, proper handling. It's actually my civic duty to ensure that the laws are followed correctly, justly, equally. You know, it's also my moral and ethical duty as one of God's childs to ensure that mankind is best served, you know, with the truth and not manipulation of facts. It is unfortunate that I was hung up on and everything else, but I quickly whipped out an email to the person and informed them that, you know, I was not satisfied with their disservice and to have the chief of police contact me. Now, you've seen the chief of police, you know, videos. You've seen the police commission videos. You've seen their special units, victim units videos. You've seen that farce. It doesn't mean I don't have the paperwork. It doesn't mean that I haven't asked for the correct things. It doesn't mean that the police department has any disability training, because this flies in the face of any claimed disability training they have. Simply the paperwork that I have, the abuse and the maltreatment. I have the documentation, as I think you can well tell by my own private Guantanamo.com, which is, you know, at this point extremely minimal because I have lots of paperwork. But when you're struggling to survive and struggling to want to continue a miserable existence, you know, it's very difficult to work on things. But I am doing the best I can, given the nothing that I have and the inhumanity, you know, the sea of inhumanity in which I'm drowning. It's unfortunate that, you know, I couldn't sell my immortal soul and treat other people the way I've been treated for a paycheck. You know, maybe then I would have had a life as opposed to the existence that I've had, since, you know, morals, ethics are extremely much more important to me than money. But this is the end of times. Anyway, thank you, and please note that I will continue, and I do want it to be noted that the reason for the police failure of looking into my 5-1 incident with the sheriff's deputy nearly breaking my wrist is not due to me and my failure. It's due to them, their corrupt methodology, and their continual failures, even when I follow up with the best of intent and in good faith. You have seen how they treat the disabled and people, you know, who are under ADA and everything else. So continue to watch, continue to learn. Oh, and yeah, go ahead, scrub that wool, you know, from in front of your eyes. You know, get out of the hazy, unreal picture that they paint you, and open your eyes and see the truth and the horror. I did not create it. I've only been victimized by it for years, and strangely enough, it's still continuing. Why shouldn't it? There's no accountability. There's no humanity. It's merely illusion. Isn't it wonderful? Not my world.